So you want your makeup to look amazing when you walk out the door, but you aren't willing to wake up at 4 a.m. to make that happen? An argument could be made that the easiest way to speed up your makeup routine is to wear less makeup. Okay, that's good. But for those of us who would like to still wear a full face of makeup, but get done faster, I've got some tips for you. Okay, so the better you take care of your skin, the better it is and the faster and easier it is to be able to put makeup on. So this portion of the video is sponsored by Agency Skincare, which is the brand I have been using for the past year. So Agency has dermatology providers that work with you to come up with your custom skincare. There are a lot of ingredients out there that claim to be anti-aging, but the only one that is actually proven to be anti-aging is tretinoin, and that's what's in my Future formula. It also has 3 other ingredients. My ingredients are tretinoin at 0.05, azelaic acid at 5%, tranexamic acid at 5%, niacinamide at 4%. Those are 4 active ingredients that my dermatology provider has formulated for my skin. Now I have hyperpigmentation, I have rosacea, and I obviously have wrinkles like any other 56-year-old, almost 57. I just do a little pea-sized amount, put it between my fingers, and then I just kind of dab it all around my face, and I go down on my neck and just rub it in. The only place I really truly avoid is my eyes. And here's the cool thing. When you're starting out with tretinoin, your dermatology provider will give you a schedule of how to incorporate this into your skincare so you don't get all of that irritation and extremely dry skin. They will work with you so you don't have those problems. So after my Future formula, I just go in with the rest of my skincare. After I've used my moisturizer, I go in with my dark spot formula. It is named appropriately because it is going to help diminish dark spots on my face. So this has been a game changer for me because I used to have a pretty big mark right on the bridge of my nose, a dark spot. It is essentially gone. I used to just be so self-conscious over it. I don't have to put concealer there anymore. So this has helped diminish the redness from the rosacea on my face. I obviously still deal with rosacea. This doesn't take away my rosacea, but it does keep the rosacea under control. So mine has hydroquinone on it, which is a prescription strength. It is at 4%. Kojic acid at 4%, azelaic acid at 3%, and resveratrol at 1%. And I try to put this only where I have spots. So I use it in the evening and the morning. Of course, the last step before I go in with makeup would be to put on some sunscreen. And I really do like, if I can get it in my hand the right way, Silkscreen by Agency. This is an SPF 50 mineral sunscreen. I think this is going to be particularly nice in the winter when my skin is so exceedingly dry. It does hydrate really, really well. It feels good on my skin and it is tinted, and there's 2 tints. I'm excited about this new product that Agency has put out. So if you want to get started with your own agency journey, I will put this link right here in the description box below and you can get started. So thank you, Agency, for sponsoring this portion of the video. If I have to get out the door in the morning and I need to speed up my routine, my trick is to get this done before I eat breakfast or anything, or before I've had my coffee, because I like my skincare and my SPF to sit on my face for a little bit before I start in with makeup. So that would be one of my other tips, is do it before, let it sit for a while, and then go in with your makeup. Along with amazing skincare, shaving or dermaplaning your face is hands down one of the best things I have ever done to make my makeup go on faster and smoother. When you don't have all those little hairs and your face has all that dead skin off, your makeup looks so much better. If you want a faster, smoother look, start shaving, or also known as dermaplaning your face. And the third way to make your skin look its best is to do a self-tanner. You know how you feel in the summer and your face has that little bit of glow to it? You can create that all year by self-tanning your face. Every time I have shaved my face, the next night I always self-tan. The tan drops I use are from Tanologist. I am in the shade medium, but they do have a light and they do have a dark. So I will take my dollop of my moisturizer. I will take my Tanologist. That's about as much as will come into the dropper, and that's how much I need. So I will put this in. I will just rub this together really, really well. So you want to make sure that your entire chest, behind your neck, everything is completely covered. And I will even rub this into my ears here, over my ears, because I want it all to blend in. I don't want it to be any line of demarcation of where my tanner isn't. And the moisturizer makes that so much easier. So those are the three, in my opinion, game changers to make my makeup go on better, smoother, and therefore it goes on faster because I don't have to work so hard to make my face look okay with the makeup. My skin looks as best as it can, and then the makeup just enhances everything. Okay, now that we've taken care of our skin and we can look the best we can, now it's time to get our makeup on faster. The first thing I will tell you is one of the harder ones, and that is to declutter your makeup. I know, that is a dirty word, declutter. But if you have way too much makeup in front of you, you get decision fatigue. Which one do I choose? Which one do I choose? Oh, I can't decide. There's too many choices. And when you've got to get out the door, you do not want to make decisions. You want to have your go-to. So here's my suggestion. Have your go-to makeup in one bag or in the drawer or in front of you, whatever it is that you have to work with for your place that you put your makeup on. Have only those things, not two blushes, one blush, not two foundations, one foundation, the one that works for you every single time. Have only those things in front of you. I know you're gonna wanna play with makeup, you're gonna wanna have things that you have that you're exchanging out. My suggestion is on the weekend, switch out some things. Say, okay, I wanna try this blush this week. Take your normal one out and put a new one in. Or play over the weekend with those things and then put exactly the ones that you're going to use throughout the week when you have to get out the door every morning. Put those in your core area, your drawer, your bag, whatever it is, and don't have anything else even in your line of sight. Then you will not have that decision fatigue. You'll be able to just start getting through your stuff and get out the door. We all have our specific order of how we put our makeup on, and every one of us is just a little bit different. It makes sense to put your makeup in the order that you're going to be putting it on your face, whether that's in a drawer. So each drawer, as you open that drawer, it's just those things, and then the next drawer is those things, and you work up or going down, doesn't matter. Work through the order of how you put your makeup on your face, and then you don't have to go in and out of drawers constantly. You're opening that one drawer, it has everything you need, and then you go to the next one. If it's not a drawer, it could be bags. Let's say the only space you have is a bag of makeup. Well, what about getting a little bit bigger bag of makeup and having just the bag of those things that you need to do? So if it's, how do I say this? So if you have your foundation, it's got your primer, your foundation, your concealer in one bag. And then the next one would be all your eye makeup. And then the next one would be your face, like your blush and your bronzer. Do you get the idea? So therefore, you can just easily grab that and go. Another way to speed things up is to put the brush for that specific makeup with that makeup. So if you have a brush that you always use for your cream bronzer, put that in the drawer or in the bag with that cream bronzer. Instead of taking something like this and you're having to go through it and figure out which one it is, all you do is have to open the drawer, and right there next to the bronzer is the brush that you use. I also think one of the best things you can do is to buy multiple of brushes if you love the same kind of brush. So for me, I love to use the BK Beauty 109 for my cream bronzer, but I also like to use this same brush for my cream blushes. So when they were on sale, I went and bought another one. So I had 2 of them. And that way I don't have to clean it in between, and I have the exact brush that I want. Now you don't have to buy this one. It's whatever one that you really want. But the idea is to be able to have double of it instead of having to maybe clean it off and then use it again. You have exactly what you need. You just grab and get it done. One of the things that's going to slow you down is just opening and closing packages. So if I'm going to use a bronzer, I have to get this out, open the bronzer, put it on, close it. Blush, open this up, get it out, put it on my face, close it, put it away. Now, I know somebody might go, oh my word, that's not a big deal. But if you really are crunched for time, wouldn't it be nice to just open one thing? So one of the things you could do is to use multi-purpose products. So one of those could be the Physicians Formula Dream Team, and it doesn't have to be this one, it's just something like this. It has 2 bronzers on it right here, it has 2 blushes, it has a highlight, and it has a setting powder. And I like all of these. Now, I don't use this one the way you would think, and I'll tell you why in a second. I can just grab a couple brushes and I'm ready to go. Another type would be this one. This one I showed you guys in a video just recently, but this is the Catrice, what is it called? I think it's Summer Obsession. So this one, same thing, a couple bronzer, a couple blushes, and it even has a couple highlights. Again, I don't use the highlights like you think I use them, but I'll talk about that in a sec. So here's just 2 examples, and both of these are drugstore pricing. Now, who says you have to use the bronzer as a bronzer? Hear me out. You could absolutely use this for your eyeshadow. Look at this. This could be an all over color. This could be the little darker color in the corner. You're good. Also, it has a highlighter. This would be perfect to use on your eye for a little bit of shimmer right on the lid. You've got it all right there, and it's obviously going to match because you have already used this for your bronzer. The same thing can be said for this Summer Obsession from Catrice. You've got a couple different bronzers, a light one and a dark one. You're all over and your corner. And again, they've got the 2 shimmers in here that would be perfect to add a little bit of shimmer on your eyelid. Of course, you could use these as highlighters as well. So this is just using makeup in multi-purpose ways instead of only what it's said it's supposed to be for. Just because it says it's a bronzer doesn't mean you have to use it only as a bronzer. So I am not a huge fan of highlighters, as you guys probably have surmised, but I do like a little bit of a glow. So instead of using a blush that's a matte blush, I'll use a blush like this one from Tarte, where it's got a bit of a shimmer. I actually have it on today. So it's got a little bit of a glow, but it's not like a highlighter. So I only have one step. I get this on and I've got that glow I want. If it's too much glow, I just take my setting powder and dab it out a little bit and it tones it down. It's totally within your control, but I don't have 2 steps, I just have 1, which in the end saves me a lot of time. Okay, let's talk about the tools, not the brushes and stuff, I've already covered that, but like the tools that you have around you. Because I am right-handed, my tools and everything is to my right. I have my Lazy Susan where I have all my bigger brushes, and these are separated out. These are all my cream, so my foundation brushes, anything for cream products, cream bronzer, cream blush, all of that is in one cup. The next cup is anything for powder. And then these are my 2 like finisher kind of brushes that I use at the end when I just want to make sure everything is blended. I have a puff, a small one and a bigger one that I use for an entire week. So those go in here. And then over here is my sponge, and I just throw it there in the middle at the end of my time doing makeup, and then my stands out sponge. Clearly, I need to clean my products. I can easily just find what I need with the Lazy Susan. This has been kind of a game changer. I can easily find a brush, and when I'm done with it, just plop it back in. They have bigger ones, so if you can see there's bigger holes, and then these are smaller holes. So it makes it so that I can easily put like a bigger brush like this in it, but then all my smaller brushes for all my eye products can go in the last 2. And I even have room to spare. But literally, this thing will look all discombobulated, and then all I have to do is kind of go like that, and they're all nice and straight up again. This has made a huge change in how I get ready in the morning. This is also one of my go-tos. It's called the Sigma Switch. This makes a massive difference. If I want to use some kind of eyeshadow, it could have a glitter on it. I don't know. So before I do anything, I always just clean it off real quick. And then I know I don't have any residual from the time before that I used it, because I don't remember if I cleaned it or not. So I always clean it before. And I just clean this with soap and water. In case you make a mistake or you need to clean up, the washcloth that I use to wash my face in the morning, it's already wet, it's already dirty. I rinse it out. I always take it over to where I put my makeup on. And at the end of me doing all my makeup, I use that to wipe down my space where I do my makeup. And then it just keeps it a little bit cleaner, and then it goes in the laundry. Now, there are 4 specific tools that have saved me so many times from having to like redo makeup or get me out the door faster, but I've made a little bit of a smudge or something. Here's those 4 things. These are little makeup tips. They're not Q-tips because that's a name brand, but they're like makeup tips. I use these pretty much every time I put makeup on. The thing that makes these different is they're very pointy and they're very stiff. Let's say you went over your eyebrow a little bit and you want to just clean it up above your eyebrow or under your eyebrow, of course, or you've smudged something, you just want to get it off real quick and it's still wet. These have helped me more than you know. I usually use them a couple times because there's not much on it, and then once it's just saturated with makeup, I throw it away. I have talked about these way too much, but they are one of my die-hard things I will always have. These are actually from Real Techniques. There are some other ones on Amazon. I will link the ones I've purchased from there. They were great. I like these because they're double-sided. So on one side is a bit longer one, and that one I use for more like my eyebrow. Well, I don't know. I use them interchangeably. It doesn't really matter. When I put on mascara and it's just a little bit too clumpy, using this to just run through my eyelashes real quick and get rid of the clumps is amazing. Now, a lot of people would say just use the wand that comes in your mascara. The problem with that is you're putting more mascara on each time you swipe your lashes because there's mascara on it. But this cleans it off. Use it again till it's saturated, and then when these are done, I actually clean these and reuse them. So they're technically disposable. I don't use them disposable. I have yet to throw one of these away. The other side is a little bit more stiff, so it's really good for running through your eyebrows. Let's say you put on a brow gel and it's just a little bit too thick. This will deposit it and you can just run it through and make your brows look much more groomed. This has saved me so much time because otherwise I'd have to redo my makeup. Of course, if you want, the comb is also an amazing thing. Taking this and just closing your eyes through it will also just kind of separate your lashes and make them look a little bit more feathery instead of clumped together. So this you need to do when your lashes are still a little bit wet, but this has saved me big time as well. Okay, let's talk about when you've made a massive mistake. Like your eyeliner looks crazy. A lot of times it's makeup in places that you don't want it, and you don't want to wash your entire face, but you want to get it off your face. So this is from Neutrogena. It is their makeup remover eraser stick. It looks like almost like a glue stick. It makes it so you can specifically pinpoint where you want to clean something off your face. A lot of times a washcloth won't get all of this off. But if I wanted to totally get this off, I can just rub this through and it'll start breaking it down just in that spot. Specifically when it is a waterproof thing like this eyeliner. So you might have to work at it a little bit, but once you've gotten it on there, you take your washcloth and you just rub it off. And look at how much that comes off more than when I just use my washcloth itself. So I could have worked at that a little bit more, but this has saved me. You can direct this exactly where you want it. There are some other ones out there, but I tend to like this one because I think it's the easiest one to direct. Okay, I do have a video where I show me using this Summer Obsession from Catrice. I'm going to link that one, and it's got a whole bunch of other drugstore makeup and how I put it on. So I'll link that one right here. Thank you so much to Agency for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check out the link in the description box. God bless.